If you think about networking like a business, socializing or networking, they're doing it by trying to become a button pusher. You know what I mean by a button pusher? Mm-hmm. They're trying to push emotional buttons in a person they meet. And then because they can't be normal or genuine, they will always be limited by that. Okay, so you learn technique, you learn lines, you learn how to raise a person's emotions. You're trying to show value. But if you're missing a couple things, it'll always be weird. Okay, here's the first thing. What is the place that that's coming from? Are you making jokes with people who you're networking with from a place of actually wanting to make a joke? Or are you doing it to go through the motions? That's the first question you have to ask yourself. Because you always know when you're congruent with it and when you're incongruent with it. Second thing you have to ask yourself is, do I have enough abundance in my life? If you know what I mean. Do you have abundance at home? Do you already have enough dating options, friends options, business options? And if you do, remember, that's something that can't be faked. They can feel that in your vibe, whether you have that or not. Do you have a clear, like I'm talking about lead gen, lead conversion, lead retention? Mm-hmm. Do you have a clear path you're taking people down? Mm-hmm. And if you're missing those three, by definition, you will become a weird person 30 years from now who just pushes emotional buttons, but there's no substance behind you. You don't entirely know the path you're taking people down, which is why your results will be unpredictable. And you're in an echo chamber. Because you will get some results by doing that, by playing the numbers game, but it will make you weird. You guys understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You're actually a really good button pusher, right? But your conversations actually fizzle out because there's no groundness to it, right? You're not able to just relate it person to a person.
I can't keep up.
Exactly. Like you're premeditating, like, what do I say next? Or just hold the emotions high. But if you're trying to meet people doing that, it's a mask. Fundamentally, I'm saying that you do it really well because you also have experience with that. But do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
by that. So it's like they need to see something real behind it.
Yeah.
And because you fundamentally, there's two sides. You're displaying value and status and emotion, which is great. That gets people you're trying to date attracted to you. That gets high level men invested in what your projects are, whatever. But the downside of it is that you don't build trust. You don't build comfort. They don't sense something real, and they think you're just a vague emotion of the day or the night.
Yeah.
They're not sensing that you're not grounding your experience as a human in their mind. They don't view you as a human. They view you as a, for lack of a better word, clown.
I have no issues with you asking questions, right? But it's kind of like the undertone of the question, right? You can go into interview mode, but there's a certain energy in the interaction.
People should be able to sense it when you walk in the room, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way your eye contact is. Like whether if you're in a room even for networking for business, do you engage the entire group? Like you look in everybody's eyes, or do you just look in one person's eyes? That will it sounds simple. Like, oh, do I look in everybody's eyes or just one person's eyes? Why is that important? Because people are going to sense, is this individual a leader or is this individual a follower? And that's really extrapolates down to, is their brain chemistry more awake? Do they have more dopamine? Do they have more testosterone? Is their subconscious, is the group's subconscious seeing that this person is the caveman?
Which one would you say is more leader-esque?
Looking at the group.
Okay.
Meaning engaging everybody.
Each person.
So like if you have 5 people here, and let's say you're at a networking event. If you go boom, 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 you're looking at everybody, but not like choppy. Like some students will go choppy, right?
Right.
Like, but in a smooth way, in a natural way. Like your eye contact is relaxed but focused.
Seeing.
Yeah, say relaxed but focused. Say it.
Yeah, right.
Say relaxed but focused.
Relaxed but focused.
Say it.
Relaxed but focused.
That's the key, because sometimes you'll go like, we want to put it on like intense warrior, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just too passive. There's a middle ground. You're relaxed, but you're engaged, right? That's the paradox with everything. Intent plus freedom from outcome. That has to be showing up in a natural way in your body language. Now, when you're engaging the entire group, people, that's gonna, like, that difference between that and your communication will subconsciously tell people you're networking with whether you are a person in abundance with money and social opportunity or whether you're a person in scarcity. Right. That little thing right there, that will be the difference between people trying to pitch you on a project or you having to persuade, button push, memorize lines to pitch them. Do you see that? You just have to lower the bar on what's acceptable. Like, you asking all these questions, as we said, it's like, what place is it coming from? But for most people, like, you just got to lower the bar on what's acceptable to do and what's acceptable to say, and bring it down to your own version of cheese whiz. But that's important. You know why? Because cheese whiz is 10 out of 10 status by a way of looking at it. Why? Because what is the only thing that can compete with dudes that have the fucking private jet, the mansion set up in their favor, all the fucking setup in their favor is fun. That is the only thing that competes with that. And it's the great equalizer between you and dudes who have more status than you. How do I know? Because we live in LA. When you're trying to meet like high status dudes to do business with, do you notice like the dude who has the fucking money, who has the fucking vibe, you can kind of feel it off of him. He needs nothing from you versus the guy who's always trying to pitch you. It's amazing how that changes the frame. That changes the buyer-seller dynamic in any kind of networking event you go to. That being said, you'll have some dudes at a networking event that have social proof, that are the host or they're whatever, or they're known, and they're reliant on being known. They're reliant on their status. They're reliant on their situational confidence. You show up with better, more positive, more fun, more vibes. You will also, as I said, fun and status can compete with each other. If fun allows you to compete with status, you stand out compared to that rich guy. And all of a sudden, people are looking up to you for approval, even if you don't logically have the same track record as that rich guy.